So for today's video, we have Black Yellow Luffy versus Blackbeard, OP09 format. So it's myself today playing Blackbeard versus my brother Connor playing Black Yellow Luffy. So we've both just looked away here and we're just going to reveal our hands to the camera, just to give you guys a better insight into the opening hands and our opening plays. So Connor, decent hand there. He has a Searcher, Reduce, Kuzan, Hiyori. We both do decide to mulligan though. So this is actually my first time playing Blackbeard in real life. I have been testing a little bit on the sim. However, this is my first time playing in real life. So I do have proxies in it for the Blackbeard. So you will see some blank cards in my deck. They are the 10 cost Martial D Teach. I have everything else. I'm just waiting for those 3 cards. So I do opt to go second in this matchup. You do want to get to 10 down as fast as possible. And also take away going second from Black Yellow Luffy is a positive too. Also, having your leader at 5 life is nice. I've been playing Marco and Reiju for the last while and they're both 4 life. So nice to have a 5 life leader. So similar hand from Connor this time around. He does have that 5 cost Sabo. Let him draw 2 trash too. So turn 1 down. He pretty much has 1 play, which is going to be a Searcher. So he taps 1, search top 5. Okay, so let's see what he takes off this top 5 search. I think ideally you'd want one of the big Luffys maybe, or the Sabo. Okay, so he does grab the big Luffy, which is an activate main effect. So plays around the Blackbeard, passes it over to me. My 2 down turn. I do just activate the stage and use the effect to search. So I do have 2 Dockyu in hand, so I trash 1 here. Just kind of looking for a Lafayette or a black hole in this case. And I pass it over to Connor. Opted not to use the leader effect because he doesn't have anything for 3 dawn really in Black Yellow Luffy. He can go Hiyori and Flampe, but then he's dwindling down his own life, which is good for me. So let's see what he opts to do. He does swing E, which is an easy take for me. Gives me an extra card in hand. I go to 4 down. Just changing the life to represent that. So I'm at 4. Connor's also at 4. So there's one thing about the Black-Yellow matchup is that you can kind of swing 5 a lot, and the odds are they'll probably take it because they want to get their life down as low as possible. So I do swing 5 at life. Connor doesn't even consider checking his hand to counter, he just takes that life straight away. So sitting at 4 down. Can play a Burgess, but not really getting massive value off it yet. So we do go stage. Trash that Vesco shot. And we do grab a Burgess. So I'm thinking I can play a Laboon for a later play, but it's probably best to just play that Burgess down. Can't be KO'd by effects, so he can't KO with the Luffy. And as long as I keep it active, he doesn't really have a way of clearing it. So start building a little bit of a board, start putting on a little bit of pressure. Connor is also going to 5 Don next turn, so I do discard that black hole to nullify his on-play effects. So luckily enough for me, I did do this because he did have the 5 cost Sabo, which would have let him draw 2 trash 2. So let's see what he opts to do here. I think he did have that zombie Luffy, which would get around the Burgess. But just opts to hit a Sabo for 5 Don and pass his turn. Doesn't want to give me that extra card in hand, so. Currently has 6 Don now. His Sabo is KO'able. So let's see what I opt to do here in this situation. Firstly, we just got 5 at life to see, is he just going to block, or is he going to give us a 1k or potentially take the life? So he does 1k, he does give us that Egghead Luffy. You probably realize that it's not going to do a lot in this matchup. And I do go for stage, boosting that Burgess to a massive 6k. And we do take our 1k or 1 Don Searcher off the top. So again, 6 Don. That Searcher is going to cost us 2. Let's see what the plan here is. So thinking long and hard about this. So I do play the Laboon for 4. That Laboon is going to go ahead and rest itself and -4 that Sabo, with the Doc Q KO on a 1. So I am thinking of here what to trash for my leader effect. We do trash another card, which is a stronger, I'm pretty sure. So we've put Connor in a not an easy situation here. He can attach Dawn and swing over the Laboon, or risk killing the Doc Q for 5, keeping his Dawn for other plays, but keeping that -4 on the field, probably not the best idea. So he does attach 2 Dawn here and swing 7 at Laboon. Probably the correct play, and then does drop that 5 cost Luffy down. Thinking on if he's going to use the effect. Decides to pass. I did question. I said, are you sure you don't want to use this? So he passes turn. I go to 8 on now. So this is pretty much the play that I'm going to make before I drop my 10 cost. So I do tap 4 and play another Burgess there. And then just tap another Searcher. This is a mistake by me here. I searched the top 3 cards of my deck, forgetting that Lafitte searches top 5. So I took the black hole there off that, and then swiftly realized that I get to search another 2, which is good for me because I put that black hole back, and I take that 10 cost Blackbeard. So I'm set up here now for next turn. And I pass turn, I'm sitting at 4 life. Connor's currently sitting at 2. And he is going to 9 Dawn now, I believe. So I've put him in a sticky situation here, keeping that Luffy on the field, because he's sitting at 2 life. He can decide to use that Luffy effect. However, if he goes to 1 life, he's not able to clear his last life, and he puts himself in danger of being killed in one turn. So let's see what he decides to do. He swings 5 at my searcher. Understandable. Both of those birds just going to 7k each now. And he taps 8 on for a gecko, which is just a big body now at this stage, and decides to pass. Again, doesn't use that Luffy effect. So this is where the game starts to get a little bit cagey. We're both at a stage here now where we're going to play big body after big body. However, I am sitting at 4 life, and the 10 cost characters I play are going to be quite big. So let's see how this game is going to evolve now from this stage. So my Burgesses are 7k each. So I know myself that my play is pretty much play the 10 cost drop, nullify his leader, Gecko can't attack, and then we just pass turn. I do swiftly remind Connor here that I just forgot to use the leader effect, but I trashed the Ice Age and we're all good with that. So can't activate on play effects. We don't swing because we don't want to get him down to 1 life. If we get him down to 1 life and we're not able to clear that Luffy, then that's just a free leader effect for him, and he also gets to draw a card. So as long as we're controlling him at 2 life, we're safe. So we do have a big 12k blocker on the field. Connor does opt to play another Gecko, which is again just a big body at this stage. Let's see if he decides to attack. So he does swing 5, and that's an easy take for me. I want more cards in my hand. And he passes turn, so he doesn't want to attack with the Luffy again, doesn't want to use the effect. And I do just drop another 10 cost, nullifying that leader. Same thing, Gecko can't attack. So we're just kind of trading big bodies now at this stage. So let's see who's the first one to commit. So Connor does tap 1 here to search top 5. And he does have a moment of realization here that 2 cards out of his top 5 are quite good against me. He's going to show the camera here, and he searches both. Both Kingdom Come are in that top 5 search, unfortunately. So he does grab that 5 cost Sabo. Remember, the Sabo is still a blocker, it just doesn't protect everything from being KO'd, unfortunately. So let's see what Connor decides to do here. Again, he has to go at life. No characters rested. He still does have 9 down open. So he decides to swing 5 at life. And I do take this, going down to 2 life. Give me a couple cards in hand. So again, putting Connor in a strange situation here. You know, having that 12k blocker is pretty relevant. So he does tap 5 here for Sabo. Unfortunately, not being able to draw 2 and trash 2. With 4 Dawn left open, I believe. So let's see what he decides to do here. He could go Luffy effect, boosted to 8, and then attach 4 and swing 12. Or he could just attach 4 to his Gecko and swing 13 at life. In which case I could either take the life or I could block and give him a 2k. But let's see how it goes. does have a big hand size, so would be able to counter out of a couple of attacks. Yeah, he does decide to swing 6. And I'm thinking I've got enough counter to stop his big 13k attack if he does decide to do that. So I do block this 6k. And then he goes 13. And he actually goes 13 at life. Funny enough here, actually, I only have a Laboon and a Blackbeard in hand. So if I do block, my blocker will die. So I decide to take it and keep that buddy on the field, as I do have another 10 cost in hand. So let's see what I decide to do here. So at 10 dawn, do decide to swing 5 at life. Let's see what he decides to do. He can free block with that Sabo, but then he opens himself up to get his board cleared. So he does give us a Hiyori for a 2k, which is good for us. I use stage here, trashing that Laboon. So that puts me at 11 cards in trash. And I do opt to take the Shuria, which is a 2k. I then go and use my leader effect a little bit earlier than normal to give myself 12 cards in trash and boost those Burges both up to 8k each. Just clarifying here that Connor did not use the effect and he's just 6k still. So now the Burges is 8,000. So we swing 8 into 6. I don't see Connor blocking here with this. He's probably just going to keep his blocker for a Gecko. Remember, I've not committed any Dawn now at this stage. So we have set up our trash nicely. And he does let the Luffy die. So we are thinking we're going to drop that big 10 cost. It's just what we do before that. So the Burges are at 8,000 each still. So the Burges won't be able to attack the Gecko, but you decide to swing 12 here into the Gecko, which Connor does block with a Sabo. I opt again to swing 12. Let's see what he does here. He does give me 2Ks. And then we go 8 at life. So once we've cleared that Luffy, we know now he's not really able to get his life down to 0 consistently, and then we just drop another 10 cost. So the same Gecko again cannot attack. So he has 2 attacks this turn potentially. And I do have a massive 12k blocker. And still sitting at 1 life. So let's see what he decides to do here. I know that if I block the first attack, or if it's less than 12, it's a free block. I know that Black Yellow Luffy plays the Rush Ace, but it's a big commitment for him to be able to play out that Rush Ace. He either has to play it out with 5 Dawn or get his life down to 0 somehow. Use his leader ability and then play it from life, but highly unlikely that's going to happen at this stage. I do have 2 2Ks in hand as well. So I did give myself some sort of protection here. So Connor taps 2 Dawn here for a Thunderbolt. So Thunderbolt kills a 5, trashes the top card of your life, which is a Gecko. And the Burges cannot be KO'd by effects, unfortunately for Connor. So he attaches 2 and uses the leader effect, I think, by the looks of things. He's obviously just thinking on a discard here. So he discards that baby Luffy. Connor's hand side is looking quite small now at this stage of the game. So he does add a blocker Sabo and that big Luffy to his life. So let's see what he decides to do here. So he taps 2 again for another Luffy. Plays that Luffy out. So his leader currently at 9,000, 2,000 from the Luffy and 2,000 from the 2 Dawn attached. So he's got a couple Dawn left over. He's got 4 left. So he can potentially swing 13 with his leader, or he can swing 13 with Gecko. So let's see what Connor decides to do. If he swings 9 at life, I can't counter out of it, unfortunately. I do have 2 2Ks, but that will only bring me to 9. So if he swings 9, I do have to block. He does decide to swing 10 at a Burgess. I'm just clarifying his leader attack. So swings 10 at the Burgess and I do block. So he has 4 left over. And he is attaching that to his leader. And then decides to swing 13. I think, or 12. Yeah, 13. So he swings 13 at Burgess. Unfortunately, I do have to let it die at that stage. And then passes back to me. So not looking good at this stage, really, for Connor. I do have my era begins off the top there. My Burgess are sitting pretty strong. Do just decide to swing 12 at life. He has very low hand size and we know he's not going to get that. So that second attack does win the game for Blackbeard. Just showing him the 2 2Ks in hand. Not sure it would have made a massive difference. But yeah. Quite a good game. It's an interesting matchup. Connor just showed me there that he bottom decked 2 of his Kingdom Come early on. Unfortunate for him. So it did become quite a cagey game. Both of us playing big bodies. However, I think the characters that I were playing were obviously that little bit better. Rather than just the big body Gecko. So yeah, Blackbeard looking strong versus Black Yellow Luffy. Yeah, so look, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe.